And we're live.
We're live. All right. Welcome to Real Neighbors, Ep.2.
Episode 2.
It's the second one. I'm Jamie. I don't know. Should we introduce ourselves every single time? Why not? Well, I mean, if anyone, the thing is about podcast, if someone happens to straggle along, they won't know who we are. So I might as well just say I'm Jamie.
If you hit a certain level of fame, you don't have to declare who you are anymore because it's assumed. Everybody knows who you are.
So you actually seem like uncool to say your name.
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were the expert on all things cool. Okay.
No. Okay, so Jamie, I know you have some stuff to tell. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Right out the gate, I did get a little feedback, and we talked about this, and I have a solution. So, I was talking to some family because that's mostly who listen to the podcast, of course.
Yeah.
I held my family hostage to get into it.
Yeah.
And the feedback was, they're like, it got good near the end, but it was slow at the beginning.
Yeah.
So I was up at like 2 a.m. one night, and I thought, let's put all the good content at the beginning.
Yeah.
And leave all the boring stuff for the end.
Yeah. So we'll get boring as we go.
So,
don't you worry. But
yeah, because if we have to maintain the level of quality of the last podcast, we can just flip it around.
Well, actually, I think we should pretend we'll just pretend this is the end of the last one.
Yeah.
Because clearly that worked. You know.
Yeah. So
from what I've heard.
Yeah. So we'll do that a shot. So first, go out with a bang, and because you said you wanted to tell me something.
Yeah.
And you wanted to say it on the air.
I did. I was kind of holding off telling you because it's kind of funny. So to start, I guess, we're on like social media now where you can find Real Neighbors on pretty much everything. We're on like Twitter.
We're everywhere.
Twitter, Instagram, not Facebook yet, but maybe. Why not? I don't like Facebook.
I don't want to do Facebook.
I don't like Facebook. We might. We'll make it down the road, maybe.
Dude, next thing you know, my parents will be lurking on there, and I'm good, you know?
Yeah, all my aunts and uncles listening. Anyway, so what I want to say is, so we went to make kind of register accounts. So we signed up. We tried to claim the name on everything, and we weren't able to get Twitter. So this is kind of what I wanted to tell Austin because I don't know if he knows.
What do you mean? Wait, did you make the Twitter account?
You did, but so basically the name Real Neighbors, like Canadian spelling, like what we have.
Yeah.
It was already taken.
It was.
Yeah.
But it let me make it.
No, it didn't. So you named it yourself Neighbors Real. So our Twitter
what do you
is the only one. So we just swapped the name. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, look up Neighbors Real. But okay.
But wait, how did I not notice that?
I don't know. So
all right, well,
that was the final thing to sign up for. So we thought we had this name on every term. Like we thought, oh, this is perfect. No one uses that for anything. So I decided, I'm like, oh, someone has that name on Twitter. I'm like, who has it? So I looked it up. And when you know, it's a porn account on Twitter. Yeah.
Wow. You know what? Why does that almost not surprise me?
Yeah,
Real
like,
neighbors.
I never thought about. Yeah, it's like real sexy neighbors in your neighborhood. You know, like
these are the people that live next door, and they're naked.
Yeah, like I never realized like how well that works.
You know what? Whoever did that, pretty smart.
Yeah. Well, so I kind of feel bad. Like so. That's the thing. At the moment, if you look us up on Twitter, just fair warning if you don't want to find that, I guess.
Now we're technically ranked as explicit, so you can. So if you do end up there, we're sorry.
Well, no,
but you're still
fine.
part of our target audience.
You know what?
Right?
I feel bad for stealing their name, to be honest. So you know what? Let's give them a shout out. Go check out Real Neighbors on Twitter.
Shout out to Real Neighbors.
Yeah, go give them a watch.
I'm sure they make middle ground content.
It wasn't a big channel either.
Not exceptional, well, actually it could be bad.
Well, I don't know.
I'm not condoning the quality.
I just looked it up and there was just boobs everywhere and I was like, why is this coming up when I look up our name? But
we're supposed to be a serious brand.
Yeah.
We can't have porn stars interfere with our brand.
No, you know what? It's fine though, you know, just support your business women.
You support your local workers. Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know.
And you know what? The odds are they're your neighbor. So
yeah.
Do you like your neighbors?
I almost it's almost like I never realized how that actually works. Like I don't know, it sounds like porn now that I'm thinking about it. I'm like, oh,
what
you
works?
know? Like that name. I never
totally.
Never even gave its like nuances I never even thought about that. Like now I'm thinking like,
oh man. And they had totally like the guy who made it was just like some guy just going like, what's gonna get people going?
Yeah, what's it called? Voyeurism. It's like a kink. They're like, oh, your neighbors and your neighborhood.
But Jamie, let's be honest. We all really hope that we have hot neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
That's what everybody really wants.
That is
and
true.
You know what? I don't think people talk about it, but I feel like everybody gets subconsciously disappointed when they see their neighbor for the first time. They move in wherever,
Yeah.
and they're like, they're not hot.
No,
And I don't think it's worth acknowledging.
Just an elderly
but
couple.
Subconsciously, you're like, bummer.
Yeah.
That could have been someone super hot, whether
been,
it's a guy
or
like a girl.
A sorority house just moving in next door. Instead
well,
of,
it's either a guy
some
who's
old
6'3",
couple.
or like some 5'6" brunette.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's very fair. So yeah, if I wish we thought of that, real neighbors.
Oh, you
what,
mean
what are we doing this for? Like, we had a solid brand we could have used.
Well, debatably, consistently speaking, I feel like porn makes more money, but we have a higher ceiling.
Right.
Like we have the opportunity to make either absolutely no money or make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Whereas
and
porn,
we can
it's
make
like
millions.
by default, you're always going to have a lot of money. See, the
I
difference here
mean-
is we might not even take off.
I mean,
That's
okay,
the difference here.
you know what? Maybe I don't know enough about porn, but
Yeah.
I
What do you
view
know
it
about porn,
as
Austin?
like people make like I would say if you're successful in porn, you make like six figures, right?
Oh yeah.
Just like a solid six-figure salary, like
Yeah.
you work at the plants, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
I don't think you're like
The ceiling
I don't
can be
think you're
pretty high.
living in a lighthouse rolling in millions.
That's not true. There's
Now,
some
unless-
big, I don't know, man.
Unless you're the guy running the show. Dude, I don't know.
There's
I
big
don't
porn
know.
stars. Yeah. Again.
Because very few people pay for free porn.
no.
I mean, wait, pay for paid porn.
True. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Pornhub. So they have like premiums.
Okay.
They're getting big.
Yeah.
The biggest names on there, they get paid a lot.
I'm just stating the
sure.
obvious. I'm like, people don't pay for free porn.
That's true. People don't pay for free anything if it's free.
Yeah. So, and I personally, you know what? It doesn't
They
come
get
up
ad
often,
revenue.
but I don't know anybody who
Yeah.
pays for porn. So,
That is very true. But yeah. Anyway, I just felt like we should note that that's not us.
I was hoping we just keep going down this rabbit trail and get trashier and trashier
Get
as we drag
trashier and
ourselves
trashier.
along.
It's fine. I'm not trying to badmouth these people, these real neighbors on Twitter. Got nothing against them. They do you.
Okay, so in conclusion to this whole conversation, you have to go to Neighbours Reel.
Yeah, be careful if you're like 12 or something.
Although, if I'm being honest, I think Instagram's the way to go. Everybody uses Instagram.
Yeah.
Everybody uses YouTube. I had only like couple people use Spotify. It was like 2 to 3 or something. And then everybody else went to YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty cool because they give you all these cool statistics. So I was looking at some stuff like viewer retention, demography. You get all sorts of cool shit. I can actually show you later. I haven't showed it to you yet, but
Yeah. So, side note, I actually my headphones aren't really. I feel like they're very quiet, but they're just crappy.
you know what?
So
You know what? I can give you a little juice. I
Yeah.
can give you a little
You
juice.
can turn me up a little.
Okay, so it's louder for me.
that worked
but-
a little for me. I just have crappy
right,
headphones.
all
It's fine.
Yeah,
That's,
okay.
That's not the people
this is
listening.
as good as it gets. Yeah. I don't even know why you brought it up.
I'm just being a baby here, man. It's fine.
What was I talking about?
So yeah, just our social media, Instagram
so
seems to be a good reach.
Everybody
so far.
wants to use YouTube,
Yeah.
which maybe maybe I'm out of touch, but that surprised me a little bit. I thought YouTube would be a hit, but not.
Not like exclusively.
I
Seeming.
guess nobody cares about Spotify.
Well,
I guess they go there just for music. I don't know.
I don't know. I think if anything, if we got like something more dedicated, I feel like people could use it. It's there.
Do
if
you know
you want to
what
use
it makes me realize is, and I think this is the same thing for like Joe Rogan, is people like to be at home and listen. I feel like people like to be at home and listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
I always thought it was a mobile medium where if you're driving on the road or you're going along,
Yeah.
you kind of are like,
Well-
I'm bored. I'm sick of listening to music all the time during my commute or something like that.
Yeah.
And you put on a podcast. But when I think I would say realistically speaking, I almost want to look this up, like how popular Joe Rogan is on other platforms.
Well, clearly
compared to YouTube.
Clearly, he's really popular on Spotify because I think he did a big brand deal where he made like
Okay, well, he got a
$100
big-
million or something.
Yeah,
They
but-
signed a thing. So clearly, he's big on Spotify.
Yes, but
But
Spotify by
I wouldn't
giving
use
him
our
money.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
use
but
our
Jamie,
experience here to really make that claim.
Don't think of it this way though. Just because Spotify gave him a lot of money doesn't mean he's getting a ridiculous amount of views. It just means they're ready to kind of pave
They
the way
know he already has that.
to eventually get there or become his perhaps his only medium, right? Like he just has a lot of star power. It's not like a thing where he just immediately goes to Spotify and he's just going to get more views than anywhere else, especially since Spotify has left him pretty free on where he
Yeah.
can go. So
Yeah, I don't really know too well. I don't know. I've actually never really used Spotify.
And just to emphasize, anybody
So-
I know that listens to Joe Rogan does it
YouTube.
on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I personally, I like to see people, which is a feature I don't think we need yet. Maybe we'll do it at some point. But I think, yeah, it's cool because we could have like two cameras, a camera or two, just floating around.
Oh, yeah.
Popping between us. The
Yeah.
only thing is, I do not think it's not worth the effort right now. You know?
Right now, of course, no. But we're hoping to kind of expand this, make it more interesting. We'll make more content. Probably have some people on, hopefully soon too.
Other complaint:
fun.
structure. People were like, "There's no structure," and
well,
I didn't really know what to say to that because
that's ultimately what we're doing. I don't think that's kind of what I don't know. That's what it is. I think we're just kind of improving, trying to.
Do you know what the biggest problem is? Is we're not structured people.
No.
I structure enough to survive because I like to be productive and get a lot done in the day. But I hate doing it while I'm doing it. So if I don't have to,
I almost flake out.
like
I
a
almost
project,
flake out every time we're about to record. I'm always like, oh,
Dude,
maybe
I
tomorrow.
know.
Maybe tomorrow.
Dude, no shit.
Yeah.
You think that? I think that too.
Yeah. Oh, hey, wait. Well, I mean, we haven't missed any prime time.
I'm just always wondering. I'm like, are we gonna get it out this week with
Is this
Jamie?
real?
Just
Oh, well, we'll definitely do. I'll definitely make sure we get it out once a week. We're gonna stick to that for sure. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, those are some things we've noted like since the first one. I don't know. I've listened to it a few times and definitely noticed some areas where I'm like, yeah, I guess I probably should just. I don't know. I feel like I could tell. I was a little nervous in the beginning, especially.
yeah. There's nothing wrong with that, and that's why I was okay with it because I was thinking, I'm just happy we got it out there.
Yeah.
And you always have room to grow and just become comfortable and improve. And
Yeah.
so I just feel like over time, no matter what, we're just going to get better and
And that
better.
applies
So
to anyone out there in anything, you know. You'll improve.
that's deep.
Yeah.
Well, there
Well,
is
not
truth. There
necessarily.
is truth to say that. Actually, you know what?
Hopefully you
My buddy and I have talked about this a lot, and I've talked to a couple people about it, especially some people that have done really well in their fields.
Yeah.
And the big thing is always, you just need to make it. It doesn't matter what the quality is. It doesn't matter how it looks. Eventually you just have to go, I need to release this and start making what I want to make.
Yeah, because
It
the
doesn't-
alternative is just not doing anything remotely close to what you want to do.
Everybody's
I'm a
thinks
bit of a
there's just gonna be-
perfectionist
Yeah.
usually. Like as far as if there's anything I want to do and release, a little story that I think's funny that my mom always kind of laughed at me for this story was I was into drawing quite a bit. Like I don't know. There's been points in my life where I would draw, kind of make myself draw a lot, and there was this like picture I drew. It was just this like this man, just this guy, and it looked really cool and like it was a really shaded, like nicely detailed picture of this guy. And then I kept on looking at it. And I'm like, what can I change? And then I kept on just overthinking it. And I showed my mom kind of early on. She's like, that looks really cool. I'm like, thanks. And then I just kept messing with it. And by the end, it looked so bad. And I showed her it because I just kept going back and changing things. She's like, oh, what'd you do to this?
She's like, I'm your mother, and I think this is
This is
terrible.
horrible. Well, because even I was like, I liked it, but I just for some reason just being too perfectionist about it, and I ended up just destroying it. Just
You know
by
what?
like trying to alter it too
I
much.
used to be more like you until I realized nothing gets done.
Mm-hmm.
You with that attitude. Now, you would thrive in a company, for example, because if you have a lot of moving pieces, and let's say you were at the end of a pipeline going, okay, this is how it should be, then you'd thrive a lot there. But I think as an independent, where you have to be in charge of everything from beginning to end, you need to eventually just let go and say, okay, it's done, and move
Yeah.
on.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
if you don't, as I said, nothing happens. So, and I view it that way, that even if we're going to do this every week and just keep going, sometimes it's not going to be great. Sometimes we're going to have some
Like sometimes
episodes that aren't
sometimes
gonna
it's
be
gonna
so good,
so
and-
dry that we actually just talk about the podcast itself the whole time.
I know, and then we'll finish it. And we'll go, wow, that sucked.
That sucked.
We'll
the
be
whole
demoralized.
Time, the whole time, the whole hour, we're just sitting here going like, we're making a podcast right now. Like that's it.
Or even in the
we
back
don't
of
even
our
get on
minds,
any other topics.
Yeah, on the back of our minds, we're already going, please God, is this over yet?
Is this
How
over?
many minutes in?
Oh,
How
God.
far?
Yeah, what are we doing? No. But yeah, again, we're just trying to be inspiring. We're inspirational
No,
people.
we're not.
We're an inspirational podcast. Oh, okay.
Are we?
No. We're whatever we are.
Well, you know
We're-
what? I want people to.
I
you
want-
know,
I wanna
people to.
inspire people.
I want people to feel good and
Oh, of course.
and have a good time. So
Of course. So yeah. All right. Well, something interesting I kind of wanted to bring up. I don't know. I guess this will be out this week, so obviously it's before
Yeah,
Halloween.
actually, we're gonna start doing. I think Wednesday nights.
Wednesday's
Wednesday
good.
nights is great.
Yep. So yeah, well, although actually technically the last one, didn't we put it out like
Wednesday night?
after midnight though on Wednesday?
True,
So it's
but we'll
Thursday.
do it a bit earlier. Okay,
Thursday
I'm not going
morning.
to start Thursday mornings, 12 a.m.
Check us out at 12 a.m. on
We
Wednesday.
have to be literal. We can't.
Yeah, true. No, yeah, Wednesday. So yeah. So this will be out before Halloween. So there's something I did think was an interesting little topic. So did you know you can actually watch like old horror movies on YouTube because like it's like fair use at this point, right?
Like, are we talking like 80s and earlier kind of thing?
Like there's some from the 60s and earlier, but like for example,
Oh, okay.
I just figured, this is a nice little Halloween topic. Might as well just see your thoughts on it. But like,
Sure.
I actually watched like the old Frankenstein, the one from the 20s and stuff, and some.
How long is that one?
It's I don't know how long.
Were movies shorter back then?
I think, yeah, or longer actually. I feel like Nosferatu and stuff was like 3 hours. I could be wrong. I think it varied a lot more though back then. There wasn't as much of a standard.
Film was a completely different medium back then.
Yeah.
There was no standards.
So
really.
I don't know if it was over an hour, but I watched the Frankenstein. I just remember watching it because you can look up all that, like the one from the 1920s. You can watch like Dracula and stuff. And
you watched the whole thing.
I
would say a lot of people can't say they've done that.
Well, this was a couple of years ago, actually. This wasn't even recent. But I do remember my thoughts on it, which I thought were just kind of worth sharing 'cause it's kind of interesting. But it is funny how like stuff like that, when that first came out, like that was probably scary, right? It was the first thing like it. But it's almost like when I watched it, I do remember just thinking like, this isn't it's you don't actually get like into it much. It almost just seems like cheesy and like they didn't really have it figured out, obviously, right? So it's kind of interesting how like in the beginning of film like that, the effects were much greater than like it's almost like people are desensitized now.
What's the
right?
what's the story? I think the story was the first time like people saw a train on video and it was coming towards the screen. Some people in the audience were like running out of the seats.
Really?
Because
That's
it was
cool.
such a shocking
interesting.
thing to actually see something play back. And even to them it seemed like magic in a bottle. They're just like, how are you supposed to do like think about it
Yeah.
this way. If you were alive back then, you perceive it as how are you just capturing this moment in time and projecting it back to me? Like that must have just
Yeah.
been the most mind-blowing thing.
It's kind of like a knee-jerk reaction just to move. Like you're used to.
And even pictures were still a bit of a novelty. Where it's like I said, you kind of get the family together, you hire a guy who has this big ass
Oh,
setup. You have to
yeah.
kind of do the pose.
And
and
cameras
it's a
used to take
hold.
like an hour or something.
Yeah,
to
it took. I
fully
think some of the big
develop.
stuff was as it took a long time for it to get exposure or to or to get into focus.
Which
like,
is why
things like
everyone's
that, right?
scowling in pictures back in the day too. Like old
I'd
pictures.
be scowling too.
Well, because you're not gonna like smile for an hour while you have to stay totally
Oh, it's
still.
brutal.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was that long, but it was a healthy period of time. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
And probably back then, well worth the time because they're thinking, how
Oh,
cool is that we have
yeah.
this picture that
I
we
think
can just
it was
keep
a
forever of
novelty.
our family.
It was a novelty for like probably richer people in the beginning. I'm assuming any like big technological advancement hits the wealthy people
Maybe,
first
probably,
usually.
yeah, right out the gate, probably, I suppose.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna mention it was The Exorcist or whatever when it aired. Apparently, people were like freaking out in the theaters.
Oh yeah, the original Exorcist. Yeah.
I feel like I want to say someone had I don't know. I feel like people had seizures. Like there was like because it was like so new, something that level of shocking.
Yeah, dude, when I was in high
People
school,
had panic attacks watching it.
when I was in high school or public school, I'm not sure which, but I remember people were talking about like I just saw the original Exorcist. And everybody was kind of like a little miffed and they're like, "Whoa, that
Yeah.
sounds spooky." And the guy literally was like, you can tell like it was demonic.
Yeah.
He was like you could just feel the demonic presence like coming out of the screen. I remember
Yeah.
like hearing him talk about that and I was like, holy shit, I'm never watching that. I'll become like possessed or something.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was like some cursed
It's just
tape.
a summon
That
demons.
was it was a cursed tape that just one of the only ones on earth
Yeah.
that you can actually get possessed by. So I was like 12 or 13 or something. And I was like, that's fucking scary.
And
I'm
this
not watching
was
that
in
shit.
high school.
Maybe grade 7, 8. I think I was like
Okay.
12, 13.
Yeah, it's funny
all
the way.
those years are blurring together. So
Of course. Well, it's funny the way kids hype things up like that. Like I can picture that type of thing too. Like not necessarily The Exorcist, but like just the way kids like stories spread. They're like, this is like this, and even I as a kid recall telling these grand stories just because as a kid it makes you feel cool.
yeah, I'll tell you something. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but my parents wouldn't let me watch horror movies when I was a kid because I had such an intense like imagination that if I saw anything, I would just remember it forever and think about it all the time. And if it was something interesting, my parents were like, "Oh, that's cool," because I'd just be super into it and like talk about it. But it was something scary, they had to deal with me as I
Yeah.
went through the process of forgetting it for like 2 months. And a great example, cat creatures. Did I tell you about this?
I don't think so.
So there's Scooby Doo, right?
Yeah.
I was 7 years old, or 6 or 7 years old, and I went to my cousin's house and they were watching Scooby Doo, and there was this episode. I've never looked it up because I've always wondered if it would just like come and hit me again, like
Yeah.
a cursed tape
Yeah.
coming right out of the screen.
You might re-trigger those nightmares if you watch
I
it
don't.
again.
Yeah, who knows, right?
Yeah.
The mind's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
So, but there was
I'm
like
kind of scared even just hearing
I know.
that name.
So
Cat creatures.
I know, dude.
Ooh.
As a kid,
Yikes.
So it was an episode about cat creatures, and I don't remember anything about it except the imagery of the cats running around chasing people. And the worst part was
I can't think of
didn't-
anything scarier.
I know, and I didn't stick around for the end of the episode. So you know the whole like usually at the end of the episode they like pull out the hat and they're like, "Oh, it's my principal."
Yeah. You never got to see that. It was a fake.
I never got to see it. So
To you, they're real.
to me, I left and the story wasn't over. I was like, cat creatures are out there.
Yeah.
And why is no one talking about it? And my dad had to watch me fall asleep every night for 2 months.
Yeah.
Dude, I would have nightmares constantly, and I remember these nightmares. It was like I remember one night, right? I was staring at the wall. I was up in my bunk bed. You remember that old wooden bunk bed?
Yeah. Yeah.
It had the slide on it. Remember that?
Wait,
so
it had a slide on
it had a slide on it.
I don't remember that.
Well,
Weirdly, like that seems pretty prominent though. I don't know how I don't remember.
yeah, you would have remembered.
Like you could slide out of your bed?
Yeah, dude. I had a bunk bed with like the slide on it. So and I would actually do it. I was Well, it got to the point eventually where you're over it and you use a ladder.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I'm grown up.
The
I'm
novelty,
9 years old.
It's gone.
But
Much-
there was a lot
much
of
like
things
this
where I'd get out
podcast.
of bed and I'd go down the slide. I'm
Yeah.
surprised you don't remember that. That's it's a little disappointing, Jamie.
Right.
But,
No, I actually don't. No.
so there was one night
That is
I was having a nightmare. And I was staring at the wall, like I was the bed's against the wall, and you just stare at the wall while you're sleeping, and I hear a growl in the middle of the night, right? And then I hear like it sounds like something's drooling. Okay, so I'm staring at the wall.
Sounds like something's drooling.
Yeah,
like
so
just
I heard like
dripping
it sounds like a cat
jowls.
creature is right beside my bed,
cat.
and I don't want to turn because
Right.
I just hear like growling, like breathing and drooling, and I'm staring at the wall, and I stare at the wall. For like 45 minutes, and I'm sweating. I'm just sweating profusely. My eyes are like, I don't want to close my eyes either, so I'm trying to blink as little as possible. So my eyes are just watering.
Yeah.
And I'm so scared. And eventually, there's like a little bang, and I turn like lightning speed. I turn around, and then it was Spike, my cat.
Right. The real cat creature.
And he was in my bed.
Yeah.
like pretty much right beside me, and I'm looking at the wall, going like, I'm gonna fucking die.
And it's weird that didn't even occur to you. That
I know that it could have been
the first
it could
thing
have
you
been
think
the cat.
is this must be a fictional cat creature from Scooby Doo. There's no way that's my
No,
real cat.
It's my cat Spike.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So I couldn't do the gist of it is I had no after I started to accept it too that when I was a kid I was super sensitive and I couldn't handle scary stuff.
Just a big old
and
baby.
I accepted it too. So when
Yeah.
people were talking about things like The Exorcist, there wasn't a part of me that went, "Ooh, I should watch it." I was like, "Nah,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't need that in my life."
I feel like I used to get scared pretty easily. Like I think my cousin used to talk about horror movies a lot with me. My parents also didn't like me watching horror movies, so I think they would get mad at my cousin because they were like, they're always like, should we let you hang out with her? Because like you always have nightmares after you hang out with her. Like because her parents would
They
let her watch.
associate-
Well, yeah, her parents would let her watch horror movies all the time. You know those parents that just let their like 10-year-old daughter watch horror
there
movies?
are some some
They
parents
were
just
like
don't
that.
give a
Which,
shit.
yeah, I'm not like bad talking. Like
Yeah.
they ended up fine, but I was really scared, and she would like tell me stuff, and I would just like we'd watch ghost videos on YouTube and stuff, and like she did, to be real. I would come home and I would be scared, like paranoid about stuff. I don't know. But it was usually it was mostly just the YouTube videos. We'd look up like real ghost caught on camera and like
Wait, how old were you? Were you like this must have been 12, 13 or
10,
something, right?
11, yeah.
Oh, 10, 11.
Pretty
Okay.
young,
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
young. But yeah, I do think that was kind of funny. But yeah, it's funny that your fear came from Scooby-Doo.
That's definitely one of them. I had a couple.
What's
so-
that one? I actually okay. Something you said when you were like they usually reveal who it was at the end of Scooby-Doo. That I do remember. There was an episode I watched. I think it was at my grandma's, and they yanked the mask off, and there was a bone. Like this was a real Scooby-Doo. So it almost like they actually beheaded this real monster on one of the Scooby-Doo episodes. And I remember as a kid that kind of.
Can somebody get a quote on this? Can we confirm this? Do we have a fact checker here?
Yes. Yeah.
Somebody pull up the episode.
Well, actually, this cabin's haunted, so let's talk to the ghost in here. Can you look that up? Independent ghost fact checker.
Ghost, look that up.
Yeah, we're trying to stay in theme. You know, it's almost Halloween.
Is this Halloween theme?
Well,
I didn't really
it has
think
been. That's why I brought that up.
Yeah, I didn't really think about it, but I guess it is pretty. It's Halloween season. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I do remember they like decapitated. They pulled. I don't know. They just pulled the head off this creature.
Yeah.
And that was a real episode I saw, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
And you were miffed. You were just
Yeah, I was like, "That's not right."
That's not how it works.
Yeah, like they're murders.
But dude, that was cartoons back then, man.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot more. Like they would actually, you could get away with. You couldn't do that anymore.
No, cartoons now are pretty bad.
Well, they have to be so safe.
They do.
They're
yeah.
under the gun.
They really are, and but I'm even just talking. I actually am very disappointed in animation quality for the most part. How it is.
Oh yeah, they moved over from. They don't do hand drawn anymore.
No, like
That's
it's all
the big
that,
thing.
that
It's
flash
purely,
animation. Like
purely CGI now.
Yeah. Well, not even CGI. Like I'm talking like.
Yeah, I know, but they have that like 3D CGI effect,
Mm-hmm.
and it's terrible. It's really cheap to produce.
Yeah.
But it's awful.
Right.
No, it's completely plagued like every platform. Because think about it this way: they probably started to realize that there's no reason to have good quality animation. Do you think kids care? Like
No, exactly.
Now, of course, I can say
The
this.
integrity kind of went down in a lot of it, I think.
The cool thing is my only worry will be is when the next generation grows up, because they were watching these cartoons growing up, is they won't look at it as fondly as we did.
Yeah.
Because we can look back at a lot of that stuff and go like, and we can actually go back and watch it too and go, it was actually pretty good. It wasn't bad. It has a little bit for adults. Like they had a perfect balance of appealing to kids and the parents can enjoy it, and the quality was good.
Yeah, which it's also really sad to me when something goes on so long that it like just gets bad. Like SpongeBob, I would say is a good
did that
example.
get dragged to the ground?
It's still going on, and I think any episode I've seen recently,
still
like
going on.
I have little siblings, and like I'll see it with them. Like I don't still check out SpongeBob just because like it felt like again, and I wouldn't even have been ashamed to say I watched SpongeBob if it was the old ones because they actually were quality in my opinion, but they definitely got worse. Like it's almost
Well,
like
hold on. Are they?
it's
That means
still going.
SpongeBob's been on the air for like 20 years.
Yeah, it's still going.
Over 20 years.
I
What-
don't.
It was like 98, 99.
Was it? Yeah.
Remember,
I guess.
because the SpongeBob movie came out in 2004.
Right,
And by
yeah.
that point, SpongeBob was already pretty situated.
That's
Like
true.
they were out for at least 5 years, kind of thing. Because I remember the movie coming out and going, "I've been waiting for this for a while."
Yeah. Yeah.
I
No.
was there when it came out. Okay.
Yeah, no, me too. I saw it in theaters. But just I do think the quality like has went down. It's almost like the character. It's like that random humor, but like it's just that whole like ADHD like blah, 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 like I feel like they're all just trying to appeal to this like really chaotic. Where SpongeBob has always been like that, but they had smarter jokes kind of lined in with it. I find.
And there was a hint of irony to it.
Yeah, whereas
There was
now
a little
it's like
bit
they
of
lost touch with the characters.
Yeah, sometimes
I
they
think.
even like you could even tell that even while it's happening, they're almost mocking themselves. Sometimes we're like, we know this is over the top.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they have like, sometimes there'll be like that regular guy nearby, like the normal fish. He's like, "What is wrong with you guys?"
Yeah.
And he just walks away.
Yeah. Well, okay. One big example I want to give for the animation argument on how I think a lot of it is cheap. They cheap out.
I guess
Teen
you're in
Titans.
You're
I
in the
wanna-
thick of it because
Yeah.
you still see that stuff.
Yeah, because I can
from,
witness it. I have
from your
little
younger
siblings, so yeah, if I'm with them, we'll watch cartoons. But okay, Teen Titans. When I was growing up, I loved the original like Teen Titans cartoon. It was very, very like cool art style, like very well done. I think
Dude,
just the right
speaking,
amount of
yeah, Jamie,
serious.
speaking of things that gave me nightmares, dude,
Yeah.
I couldn't even handle Teen Titan. Do you know
Really?
why, dude? I
Why?
watched one episode, and it was a. I watched it a little bit later. Okay, so I know all the characters. It was Beast, I think, right?
Beast Boy.
Yeah, Beast Boy, and the only episode, the first episode I ever watched, it was an episode where he lost control of his powers. So he would like randomly turn into like these weird like demon beasts or
And
something.
you've always been scared of morphing, haven't you?
I know, dude. Morphing is my phobia.
You were scared of Borgs from
Dude, I was scared
Star
of
Trek.
Borgs, people turning into Borgs. I was scared shitless by Akira.
Yeah, I don't know
dude,
what that is. But
I told you about my niche phobia. It's morphing. So
Yeah.
I saw one episode, and
Yeah.
it was the like Beast Boy like out of control episode, and I was like, I can't handle this.
yeah.
That's how pathetic I was.
Wow. Well, what's funny then is, so that see how it kind of gets dark at times. The Teen Titans Go, which is what I wanted to contrast it to,
Which is
really,
the
really
new
bad.
one,
The
right?
new one looks like garbage. It's like really flash animation, really cheap animation, and it's almost like there's none of the seriousness. It's just purely that hyperactive, chaotic humor that they're just trying to be all flashy and appeal to kids, and like. I don't know. I'm just like, that's awful. Like, if you compare it to like what it came from, I'm like, it just seemed like it had so much more like soul.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, do you know what, the big thing is the thing they lost is a lot of the time in the past. Like I think great examples would be like Teen Titans, Avatar.
Yeah.
You've watched Avatar, right?
The Last Airbender? Oh, I love it,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
totally. So like Teen Titans, I would say those two are contrasts in the sense that Teen Titans was very, very dark and atmospheric.
Yeah.
Just in the way it was animated, where like the lighting was usually pretty sparse. You know, they're always in like darkly lit rooms, and
Yeah.
I said it was much more ominous. And
Had,
they
like,
and
an
they
aesthetic to
intentionally,
it.
yeah, they did it that way on purpose. And then Avatar, on the other hand, is almost always very bright and beautiful and kind of
Yeah.
like. There's obviously some really good like.
Yeah, I watched that with my
you know,
brother a couple years ago. We actually would watch.
You did a rewatch.
Well, yeah, me and my brother a couple years ago, we actually just watched all of Avatar together.
And
Yeah.
the thing
was
that makes it
awesome.
age so well is it has some somber episodes, but generally speaking, the show is pretty uplifting.
Yeah.
And the art style also reflects that.
Yeah.
That's it. It's very bright, luscious, and they've kind of just botched that now.
Yeah.
It's just all like kind of copy and paste on the shows, and they don't really consider what the show is.
Right. Which I don't, again, yeah, I don't want to bad talk the new Teen Titans too bad just because I haven't watched it much. And again, it might be funny in its own right. So, I mean, obviously, whatever if you like it. I'm
know
not,
what, it may
not
be-
shitting on it too hard. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
that's just a good example of what I feel like a lot of cartoons nowadays are going that route of that, like, flash, cheap look, which is just undeniably true, I think.
Now-
if you just
now-
watch
or
any cartoon
There is
network.
the opposite, devil's advocate, is maybe they'll grow up with the show, and they'll look back and they'll be like, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Who can say for sure, right? Because
Oh,
time,
exactly.
time kind of puts a wear on
I'm
things
sure I'm
that
not
you
the
can't
target
predict.
demographic now for Teen Titans, so
Oh yeah, no.
that's a big thing to note too.
There's,
So I'm not
there's so
trying to
many
talk
things in
mad shit
history
here.
that like everybody's like that's going to be terrible or it's terrible, and then over time, it becomes like a cult classic.
Yeah.
Or like that shit happens all the time because just because a demographic at a certain period in time didn't like it doesn't mean it won't be appreciated later. So
Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah, like I even just Hey Arnold and stuff. I think recently I bought the whole series on DVD because it was really cheap somewhere.
that's where your mind is going, eh, Jamie?
Oh yeah, just
Mr.
the gold-
Hey Arnold seasons
gold- I
on,
got-
on DVD.
I got the box set.
Really?
The gold? No, it's just DVD. It's just
Yeah,
it was like $20, dude. It was like but it was worth it anyway. I would pay $100 for all of Hey Arnold. It was just something I wanted to just
There
keep.
was no price they could have charged
No
you that you
price.
wouldn't have paid.
No, Hey Arnold has a special place in my heart.
Money
you know?
was no consideration.
Come
in
on,
that
did you ever
purchase.
grow up watching it? It's good stuff.
You liked it. I watched it with you sometimes.
Yeah.
I liked watching. My favorite one that you watched was the Barbarian one.
Yeah, Dave the
Dave the
Barbarian.
Barbarian.
Which is funny.
I loved that one.
Which is funny because I was just kind of bad mouthing that style of like animation because that's not even my. But it is a funny show. I used to love that one.
You are right. We gotta take and give credit where it's due because
Yeah.
that show definitely had some pretty tacky.
Yeah, it was.
even
The
as
animation
through my
wasn't great,
kids'
but it
lens,
was
I was
funny.
like, it's
it was
okay.
funny. I thought it was hilarious.
And the best part was I associated it with we'd always watch it just before or after playing on the Sega.
yeah,
Because you had what was it, Gauntlet? No, what's the equivalent of Gauntlet?
Golden
it's the
Axe.
Golden Axe. There we
yeah.
go.
Yeah, Sega Genesis.
So
that
dude,
was
we'd like
fun.
play Golden Axe for like an hour or two, or like Sonic or something.
Yeah.
And then we watch Dave the Barbarian, and that's probably what I remember most about going to your place when I was younger.
Yeah, yeah. The Sega. I'm pretty sure it still works, but I think I'm like missing parts of it, which I still have all those old games. But I used to love Golden Axe was one of my favorite games. I used to beat it growing up. Actually, there was this kid who lived down the street from me. We'd beat it like daily too.
Who I know that kid. Is that the guy we
Max,
hung out
his
with a
name
couple
was.
times? Oh
His
no,
name
the
was-
guy right across the street.
Oh,
What was that guy's name?
His name's Evan. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah.
We hung out a couple times.
Yeah, he was a cool guy too.
Dude, there's nothing
He's a
quite
tattoo
like
artist now.
Is he?
Yeah, I should go
Oh.
get a Golden Axe tattoo from him.
Dude, that would actually be I think that would age well.
A Golden Axe tattoo?
Yeah, you know what?
It actually would. I never thought about it.
It's a little bit risky, maybe, but
Ah,
trust me, people
Life's a
have gotten
risk.
way worse tattoos
That's
that
true.
they have regretted when they're older.
you know what? Because
so-
I used to be that like old man, the I guess dwarf guy. He's like an elf, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
the little guy with the beard and the like Viking helmet. I should get him tattooed on me somewhere.
that would be pretty cool.
That was my character.
Although people would might mistake it for the. I'm not sure if it's the same logo, but Northern has like the Northern Vikings logo.
Yeah,
Did you ever see it?
yeah.
So
I did,
so if
but-
you're walking around Sarnia, you're either gonna get like, is that the guy from Golden Axe, or they're gonna be like, oh, you went to Northern. And Jamie, let's face it, if you got even one of those comments, you would immediately go, I fucked up.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
It would be instant. You'd just be like, oh my god.
I went to a different, yeah. I'm just rewriting history
No,
at that
I
point.
went
I'm
to
like, yeah,
skits,
I'm a
man."
Northern Viking.
I played all sorts of sports.
I was the runner
Do
back.
you listen
in
to
the-
my podcast? We talk about sports
we know
all the
sports.
time.
We know
Touchdown.
Yeah, I used to play on the hacky sack team at Northern, the Northern
Some
Viking
really niche
hacky,
sport,
hacky
and
sack team.
you were the only one.
Yeah, I
in
was the
on
only
team.
one. No, it's me and this one guy who barely showed up.
I know. And there's no competing schools involved.
Yeah,
So
no.
it's just only one.
Everyone on
Northern
the
team.
hacky sack team would sleep in for the tournaments.
show up 20 minutes late. Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
And it's assumed
Yeah.
that's fine.
Did you bring your hacky sack? Oh, I forgot it.
Oh, bro, I forgot.
I forgot mine too.
And they're like, "It's okay, buddy. I got my minivan. We'll go grab it quick."
Yeah.
Just super relaxed. Oh, don't worry about it, buddy. Just like gives you a high five, and he's like, "Let's go back to your place, and we'll get a coffee on the way back."
Yeah.
And it's like, "Thanks, Coach Dave."
Yeah, the coach.
No
Coach-
problem, buddy.
Coach Dave. He'd pick
You know what,
everyone
Jamie?
up in his white van.
You know what, Jamie? I'm real proud of you, buddy.
I'm proud of you. You have the world record, at least for the team.
You have the best record in the city, and that's saying a lot.
Out of the 3 people on the team.
And
the,
other
one-
two-
the one never actually never even showed up to the
And
tournament
the
at
third
all.
one's like a fake student. They don't even attend
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, it's like one of those fake like
I'm-
one of those like prank phone call names. It's like
We've never heard of John.
It's
We've
like
never
a-
seen him, but
it's
I'm
you
sure he's
and
good.
and Mike Hunt.
That classic
It's like
trope.
yeah, it's you
Man,
and
we
him.
had this guy calling. He said he was a hacky sack specialist,
I'm trying
and
to-
he wanted to register at the school. His name's Have you heard of this guy? It's Mike Hunt,
Yeah.
and he even like abbreviates it like with like the
Yeah. The classic like
Mike
prank
Hunt.
phone call. Yeah. All right. Careful, man. We're gonna get
You know what, buddy?
demonetized over here.
I know. And they're like,
No,
you
we're
know
just
what?
saying a name,
He's
okay?
never shown up, but I'm sure he's good too, and you would beat him.
Yeah.
Because-
Do you know any other of those prank call phone names? I'm just trying to think of another. They're funny.
No, I can't.
I can't think of any. I used to know a couple.
I was always growing
Hugh,
up.
oh, there's one. Hugh Jazz. That's a good one. It's like,
I never heard that one.
that's a good one. Yeah.
What?
He's like, yeah, it was you on the hacky sack team, and Hugh Jazz was supposed to come.
Man, I wish I could remember these things because when I was younger, I
Prank
was
calls?
usually the guy that could just appreciate that humor. Mm-hmm. I could never remember.
We used to make some prank calls when we were kids.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
I'm
It was actually your.
not sure if I'm proud of those.
I mean, you know what? We were like 12. I'm not proud of anything
I, no, I
did
did
at
it
12.
till I was like 14 or 15.
That's true. Yeah, we were.
I was-
we were a little older. Your
I know.
friend was really funny. Jude, I guess. I'll shout
Jude,
him out.
Yeah,
Shout him out.
Jude was really good at prank calls.
Which doesn't he actually have like he's making YouTube videos or something?
Yeah, he's
Is there a way we
making
can
YouTube
shout
videos.
him out since we mentioned him?
I don't know.
Like,
Sure.
What's,
It's
I don't know what his account rating is.
I don't know. It's Jude John. I think it's Jude John. Wait.
Jude Johnson.
The real Jude J.
There you go.
Yeah.
Look that up. He's a funny guy.
Now, assuming, and I would say,
Don't call the cops because what we're saying is incriminating. He used to prank call people.
good point.
Yeah, don't call
I
the
know
cops on them.
they'll be like, when you were 14, you did
Yeah,
this,
Jude
and now
Johnson
we
is
can
over
finally
party.
execute you as an adult.
Yeah.
Because that's how the law works.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
He was really funny though. I
so yeah,
remember.
he was pretty funny. There was another guy, my buddy Colin.
Mm-hmm.
He was really good too because our favorite thing to do, and people in Sarnia will know this place, is we'd prank call Adult Connections all the time. That was one of
Yeah.
our favorite stomping grounds, and
Classic.
it got to the point that my friend Colin would call them with different personas every time, and eventually they like caught on to like the timbre of his voice, and they were like, dude, the guy was just like, fuck off. He's like, if you call again, we're tracking your number and calling the police or something.
Wow, yeah.
Like, they were so mad. And one of his personas, which I remember, was Kevin Malone from The Office.
Oh, really?
So he'd call. I'll try to do a slight simulation. I can't help it, okay? He would call and he would go like, yes, hello. I would like some of your pornographic selections, please. He was way better at it than I
Your
was.
finest pornography, please.
And then Jude called one time, and my favorite thing I still remember to this day because I thought it was so funny was he was like, I'm looking for something more biblical, and the lady was like, okay, that's interesting. What are you looking for? And he's like,
Yeah.
do you have any David on Goliath action?
She's like, yeah, we actually do. Just got a fresh
She's
batch.
like, yeah. Have you ever heard of what's the internet rule? 32? 34?
34.
It's 34 or 32.
Yeah, since you said, I would have known until you said two numbers.
You
Now I
screwed
don't
it up
remember.
for me.
Yeah, now I don't remember.
I got conflicting information, and now it's over.
Yeah, you're like, any David on Goliath action. They're like, actually, yeah, we got here this new thing from Real Neighbours on Twitter.
Have you heard of Real Neighbors? They do biblical stuff now.
Yeah, check it out.
Dude, that's what we call a callback right there,
Yeah.
folks. That was 30 minutes ago.
Ring, ring. Anyone home?
Hello, voicemail.
Hello, beginning of the podcast.
Running joke incoming.
Yeah, we should announce that every time. That definitely makes it funnier.
What makes what fun?
To announce it.
Oh, just
to really explain every joke.
Yeah,
People
I know
love
we
that.
have no finesse.
No.
To any of our humor.
We have to explain every
We just
little thing.
like to beat people over the head and go.
That
and
was a joke, everyone.
And not only that, to our own praise.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah.
That was a good joke,
Pretty
everyone.
advanced. Went to school for that one.
Hope you liked it. Yeah. I'm drinking an energy drink right now, which
No.
I don't often do.
No, we took it out of the picture.
We did.
So we didn't have people
Didn't
to
have to be
know
trashy.
that I'm drinking an energy drink.
Yeah, it's not something I do often, but we need to
Dude, by
get the brain
default,
working.
energy drinks are pretty trashy.
They're gross, yeah. I want to get
Why can't you drink coffee like gentlemen, people? Come on.
Yeah. That's true. People who drink energy drinks shop at Walmart.
Oh, burn.
Oh, no. I'm just
People
kidding.
that drink energy drinks like to get cheap products.
Yeah. Yeah. It is
Pathetic.
funny though because I feel like that logo I do associate it with just some I just associate with like Cookie Monster pajamas or like,
Cookie. Oh, like the art on this?
never mind. This is just good.
Yeah, dude, you're not. Where are you going with this?
I'm talking
Yes.
about people who wear like Monster merch. I'm just trying to isolate our
yeah,
audience
okay,
again.
okay,
like,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
how
Oh, yeah.
our first one
Once again, we
offended a lot of
we
people.
got rid
probably.
of people that like sports. Now it's
Yeah.
time to go after people that go to Spencer's.
The Kyles. The Kyles. we're going after motocross fans now. Down.
We've been, wow,
Monster's trashy.
good viewership.
I'm kidding. I have nothing bad to really say about it. I don't want to burn too many bridges here.
Once again,
I
I
like
have
everything.
no idea where you're going.
I like
so-
everything. We're fine. We're fine. Yeah.
So what do you got, Jamie?
What do I got? Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah, well, staying
By the way, this is the boring part of the show.
the boring part.
I
Yes.
told you. We threw all
well,
the good content at the beginning.
Yeah,
And now I'm
we're
petering out.
We're staying true to form. We did say the beginning this time was going to be more engaging, and as we go, it's going to get real.
Which goes back to our whole callback thing.
Real
And
crappy.
wow, our jokes just get so nested that
Yeah.
even I get confused.
That's true. Because now I'm like, this is real. That's what we were actually saying. Right? Whoa! Don't be doing that, man.
I know. You got a
Not in
coffin
not-
sibling.
Not in today's climate.
Not in today's climate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I do actively avoid coughing when I'm in public. So
Yeah, it's funny. I think it was like a week or two ago. I had to buy a charger for my phone because like my charger just broke and I don't have like any
Mike,
spares.
keep your mic near the
Oh,
mic face
is
near
it
your
kind of
face.
is it kind of I'm
Yeah.
quiet? Okay. But yeah, I went to just went to a store to buy like a phone charger, and as soon as I walk in, I like inhaled like spit, and I think they were closing in like 10 minutes, and I walk in, they're like right at the door, and I'm just like, like as soon as I walk in, and they're just like looking at me. I'm like, no, I'm like, I swear, I'm just joking.
I'm good. I'm good. They're already like waving security over,
Yeah.
and the security doesn't even physically touch anymore. They just have like these poles that they just poke you with until you leave.
They
They're
come
just
beat
like,
me.
Get out.
They have hazmat suits and big like
Just
police
bit,
batons.
like long sticks. They're just like poking you out of the building.
So they came out and started trying to hit me with that. No, but it was really awkward, to be fair. Cause
Well, you know why? Because
get dirty
the
looks.
closing thing is probably the even more so because they're like, oh, all the people that are sick are showing up when everybody's gone. Like they're trying to
Yeah.
sneak in last minute
Yeah.
to get some headphones.
Yeah, they're like, not only did I want to get out of here, now I'm going to die.
Now I'm dealing with this sick guy,
Yeah.
just coughing everywhere.
So yeah, it's no joke. Like, I think going in public, I hate doing that. People hate it.
Yeah, I avoid it if I can. You know, that's why I'm not in Toronto. Toronto's in stage 2 right now, so
Yeah.
I still pay for a place in Toronto.
Yeah.
I don't like money though.
But
Apparently, so-
yeah. You didn't try and sublet it or something?
Nah, no.
No.
I didn't want to do that to my roommates.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
My brother got ripped off subletting to someone.
Yeah, I remember that back
He,
in London. Yeah.
Yeah, when he was in college, he I guess he sublet to some girl, and she just never paid him, so he had to pay like $2,000 or something for her rent.
Yep, he got slept off, dude. That's the harsh reality of life.
Yeah,
Is-
because he barely knew her. I mean, obviously, and then I guess she just blocked him on everything and took off. And there's not much they could do because it wasn't like a written thing. Which is that illegal? Are you allowed to do that, or am I outing Jesse
No,
here?
it's a logistic where you can go to small claims court, but the amount of time and money it would take to go to small claims court is so convoluted. You are better off just leaving it. And
Yeah.
also, in the case of Jesse, it's very when it comes to
Jesse's
subletting,
my brother, by
it's
the
very
way.
yeah.
Anyone who doesn't know.
It's very possible that he didn't do any official paperwork.
Yeah, no,
So-
I don't think so. Which is what I'm wondering. Is that actually illegal? Like, am I outing him here?
And also,
Or
by the
something?
way, when I did a sublet, because I did a sublet for a lady in Toronto when she was on her way out.
Yeah.
And when I did that, I had to sign a bunch of paperwork.
Oh,
Because that makes obviously paperwork makes you liable. You're just saying I agree to do this and that, etc.
Yeah.
So when Jesse doesn't leave a paper trail, it just makes it even more convoluted, and it actually just gives him a small chance to not win in small claims court, which would be even worse because he's already lost money.
Yeah.
And now he's chasing a trail that
Yeah.
may or may not work out. So it's one of those things where Jesse was in a position where he should have just taken the hard L.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think he did. He didn't go after it.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it was.
There wasn't much he could
That's
do.
the harsh reality of life. Is as you get older, you become less trusting because one too many people you don't know screw you over.
Mm-hmm.
And
Or
there's-
people you do
there's
know.
nothing-
And that's worse too.
Yeah, that's thankfully
people show their true colors at times. You know?
Thankfully, I've never had to deal with that.
Yeah.
I've never been screwed over by somebody I genuinely am close to. So-
Yeah. I've lent like one guy money before and never got it back, and it wasn't too substantial, but it was enough that I was annoyed. But
Yeah.
the way I look at it is like if someone's that untrustworthy, it's like I just paid like that amount of money just to kind of figure that out.
You want
Now I
some?
know,
You want some life
know?
advice?
Yeah.
If you ever give out money, consider it a gift.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
say this is a gift. I'm imparting it, and if I never get it back, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Now you should only do that obviously with your friends. But,
And once, I mean, you should only trust someone once. If they say they're obviously,
oh, of course.
Yeah.
Now, in the
You're
the
not gonna
fact of the
wanna
matter
keep
is, of
trusting.
course, it will. If you give money to a friend, I said, just say it's a gift. Just say, that's what I've done before. Some guy was like, I need some money. I just said, take the money. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
Now, of course, in that particular case, sometimes when you say that, those people that usually wouldn't pay you become so militantly they will do anything to pay you, because the moment you take the expectations out,
Yeah.
they're like, no, I'll get that money. And I got the money within like 3 days.
Yeah.
Well, typically people said, don't give them money, kind of thing, right? So
Yeah.
the other benefit to making it a gift is if that person is feeling that vindication to say like I should get that money back,
Yeah.
they will actually be more likely to do it when you perceive it as a gift. But you shouldn't expect it back.
Right. Yeah, I think like the particular thing I'm thinking of, like it was definitely like, oh, this guy's like, oh, pay you back for sure. But I'm not like, I barely think about it now, but it is like a learning thing for me. I was kind of like, you know what, if you're gonna give out that amount of money, again, if especially if it's someone you don't know too well, you can't necessarily expect it back.
It's
Right?
better to be mentally free
Exactly.
because
Just
money,
it's gone. I'm
if
not gonna
money
chase this
is
guy.
taking up your mind space,
Yeah.
especially in something so mundane, like let's say somebody owes you money, and that's literally like eating up your time.
Hmm.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Just let it go because it's
the
not
root
for
of
them.
all evil.
Yeah, it's not for them. It's for you. It's about having sanity and going. I need to let this go and move on with my life. And
Yeah.
just stop thinking about this and stop giving it power over
Yeah.
me. So
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And you know what? It's kind of like, I'm glad I helped him in whatever way that helped.
I mean, in that particular case, I think I know what you're talking about. And you said he was addicted to drugs.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I wasn't gonna get right into this, but
I don't. Okay, well, no, we don't have to go any deeper. I'm just saying
it was like
odds
a thing where
he
he messed me out of nowhere and was just kind of like, I'm actually really struggling, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, I'm like, well,
Jamie, he
I don't
did
want to sound
not-
like an asshole here,
he
but
he didn't give that money to a charity, Jamie.
no,
I'm sorry, buddy.
That's true. That's true. I was just helping out the locals.
Dude, it was donated to his bloodstream.
donated.
You
Yeah.
turned pure money into like something he can inject.
I don't. Yes,
you like
and I'm
seeing
very
it?
proud.
Do you like having it perceived that way?
But yeah, I didn't know this at the time, so I don't want people thinking I'm out here enabling people.
well, you know what? And I would say usually you're better off not knowing. Why would you want to know that information?
Oh, like what someone?
If I'm giving somebody money,
what
I'm like,
criminal activity they're doing with my money?
yeah, I'm like, I don't really want to know the details. I'm like, if you're like struggling and
Yeah.
having a problem, I'm like, I'm just gonna hope for the best. Here's the money. I don't want to know.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then, as you said, next thing you know, they're like they use that to like start funding like some black market drug lord, like underground chain.
Yeah, he actually was the underground drug lord, and
He's
he actually invested that in his business, and now he's even bigger.
Millions
bigger
of
than
blood
ever.
money, just like
I
all thanks to
single-hand-
Austin's initial investment,
Yeah.
which I never paid back. It was a nice gift.
I'm single-handedly fueling the future of drug trading because of that little donation.
Thank you. Shout out to Austin Kelly
I have that
for
on my
rekindling
hands.
the opioid crisis in
yeah,
Sarnia.
yeah, that blood
It
on
was
my
it
hands.
was starting to die out, but now we're alive and well.
Yeah, yeah. Glad I could get that funded and going again.
What a nice guy.
What a nice guy.
That's why I want to be remembered. Nice guy.
No. Oh no. But yeah, drugs are bad. Okay.
Drugs are bad.
Yeah. Wanna be clear here.
No, I don't. I feel like our general views so far have been pretty negative. So
Yeah. Have you ever done DMT? I'm just
you're just like, yeah, man. Say, hey, Austin,
you ever tried?
have you ever done DMT? Have you ever spoke with?
welcome to the Joe Rogan podcast.
Have you ever
everyone.
spoke with aliens that said everything's gonna be okay, and then you woke up and thought your whole life was a dream?
Yeah, man. Almost every
We've
night
all been there, guys.
in my sensory deprivation tank. I actually did that
You,
before.
did you use your gift card? To
I
finally
did. I
that?
didn't do DMT in a sensory deprivation. I did. I just did
Minus one.
Minus one of those.
There's
things.
one in town, right?
There used to be. Yeah.
Is it gone?
Yeah, and actually,
They didn't make money.
yeah, it did fail.
Sarnia's sensory deprivation
yeah,
tanks.
Yeah, people, that alternative holistic therapy didn't really take off in Sarnia. It was really fun though. It was nice. So I went and did a float, and
Yeah.
it was you basically go in. You're in this weird little room. You rinse off in this little shower, and then you hop in this little saltwater like tent, and it's really nice temperature in there. And
Well, yeah, it's supposed to make you feel like you're not in water.
yeah,
correct?
because basically the above temperature is similar to below, and
And it completely disengages you because, as you said, you're floating in the water. Your body doesn't need to do anything.
yeah,
You're
no,
just
it's
floating in
it's
space, basically.
it's really nice, and like I did it a few times, and it was very nice. I felt like refreshed after. It was like a nice, calm experience.
Dude, you know what everybody was probably doing? They were probably just like slamming edibles
And
just
just
jumping
laying in
into those
there.
chambers for sure. dude.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And they were like, they would try to get them out, and at that point, they're just so far gone that they just have to like slap them away.
yeah. Well, luckily the girl was like, she would gently come and knock. So,
Okay, she
you
was
know, there
very
wasn't like abrupt.
gentle about
It
it.
wasn't like an abrupt like get out.
Time's up.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah. You're here for like a therapy like calm experience. She's just like, all right, get the hell out of the fucking knocking on it like.
Do you think I'm an employee? I own this place. Now get the hell out.
What, you think you can just lay in there all day? It's like if you've ever been just woken up angrily by like your mom for like sleeping in or something. Like,
Oh,
she
let
was
me
like,
guess.
"Get out of
You want to
bed."
shower afterwards too, don't you?
Yeah. Wow. Would you get your ass out of there?
And then she,
Out of bed?
sits outside the shower
Yeah.
and like waits for you the whole time. You can hear her foot tapping. Just
Yeah.
just like you're showering, and all you hear is like a little like.
And not even, and she actually she shows up 15 minutes before the hour's up and starts doing little things to let you know she's being impatient. She'll
You like hear
you'll
her
just
foot
hear like
tapping.
foot tapping right outside the door.
And your cheese are rapidly like are waning. You're like, oh no.
And actually, the countdown starts 10 minutes in. She's like, 50
Oh,
minutes.
dude, imagine there's like a counter with like a beeping sound where it's
Yeah.
just like boop.
Yeah. Yeah, for the sensory deprivation, she'll knock
Just-
without yell. She's like 40 minutes.
And then everybody starts giving it 5-star reviews, and they're like, "This taught me how to deal with life."
Yeah.
Because sometimes life is calm and it's easy, and then suddenly
the abrupt
a storm comes
screeching.
and the stress. And
Yeah.
I'm like, going to this sensory deprivation tank taught me about the highs and lows of life,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
why they succeeded for so long.
That's what's so therapeutic about it, you know? You get the highs, you get the lows.
You think you got it going good until someone screams at the door, "What the fuck are you still doing in there?"
Yeah, I bet you're.
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
hey, they do
Oh, what do you? Oh no!
they do a hand check. They come in every now and then. They're like, "Let me see your hands."
Oh,
What are
great.
you doing in there? You pervert, twiddling around in there.
Oh, great!
They really don't trust
Another
anyone.
one of those guys.
Yeah. Come to think of it, I don't know if they change the water every time. I wonder how gross that water was.
Dude, probably not. If they had to salt that water every time,
Yeah, that's a lot of
I
money
don't
to.
know,
That's a
man.
lot of salt.
And refilling and then getting the temperature resetted.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, Jamie,
Like I know personally,
you
I
thought
peed.
baths were gross. Have you ever heard of communion baths?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, just so we're clear, I did myself. I peed in it when I was in it. So. I'm sure other people might have.
You marked your territory
Yeah.
there. You're like,
I was in there. I had to mark my
I gotta
territory.
take a quick pisser.
I was like, it tastes salty anyway. No one will notice.
It won't taste like piss anyway.
I'm kidding, by the way.
That's how Jamie checks water to see if there's urine in it. He'll just like
I'll
walk
taste
up to
it.
it and just give it a quick like sip,
Quick little lick.
and you're like, oh, there's piss in here
Public
for sure.
pools, I'd like to make sure I get a nice little mouthful just to make sure.
And you're like,
No one
"Ah,
peed in this. I'm like,
there's
oh,
a-
it's salt water. I can't tell.
Oh, it's salty.
Damn it.
Perfect crime.
Yeah.
And then that's when you're like, all right, and then you unzip and
I never peed in
You-
it.
you
Don't worry,
join
guys.
in.
Don't worry, guys. Did you? Okay, so I used to go to public pools, and people used to. Did you ever hear that myth? Which it is a myth, and I totally believed it. I was always told if you peed in a public pool, there's a chemical in it that turns red.
I've heard that before.
And
now,
it worked on me because I believed it.
Now, is that like a particular chemical?
It's actually a myth, as far as I know.
A full myth.
Like I feel like there's nothing like there's no
anywhere
pool like
on planet Earth that does that.
that. Like
that
I'm not gonna say that because I don't know, but it was a myth because like
look that up.
it would be like the ghost in here, yeah.
Look, get that a quick fact check, please.
What are we gonna name our fact checking ghost?
Clyde.
Clyde, sure.
It was a type of for me between Clyde and Benny.
I do like Benny more. Benny, can you tell Clyde to go away, Benny? Benny, look that up.
Benny, replace Clyde, please,
Yeah, Benny, get rid of Clyde.
and then
Thanks.
do the quick lookup.
And look that up. No, I'm almost positive that's not a real thing. But when I was younger, because
I bought it, so
I
it
did
worked.
too. So I'd go to like, a local pool for me was this pool like Tecumseh,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
the
that,
Y,
that was the salt pool.
the
Yeah.
Y or something. But yeah, everyone would tell me don't pee in pools because a red circle would appear around you, which is kind of what I heard.
Yeah, dude, I loved the Tecumseh because you could
It's a
actually
myth.
open your eyes in the water. That's why I loved the Tecumseh for that.
Yeah.
When you go to the Y, it was like so chlorinated that it was just like your eyes were getting bleached every single time you opened them.
Yeah, I don't like chlorine. I prefer So
I hate chlorine so much that I refuse to swim in it pretty much nowadays, almost entirely.
really
I've swam in a chlorine pool once in the last like 3 years.
weird.
I hate the way it feels in my hair. I just
I'm
hate
not-
it. I hate chlorine.
Yeah, like I'm not that much of a diva, but I don't know. I don't like them. I prefer salt for sure. I don't
Yeah.
swim much anyway, to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't even did I I think I swam once this summer actually.
Only once?
Yeah, I hopped in the lake like once.
Yikes.
I don't know why.
Dude, you are underappreciating the luxury we have of having some really nice beaches that
Yeah.
aren't swamped.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
That is probably one of the things I miss most when I'm
here
in
in
Toronto.
Sarnia, where we're from. Yeah.
Dude, you want to hear perspective? We're about to wrap up here, by the way, but
Yeah, really. What time?
we're about an hour in, so.
We're already an hour in.
But when you're in
Wow.
Toronto, it's by the way the beach there, the beaches is one of the most prolific areas, and there's a beach there, believe it or not.
I did. Yeah. I did. Isn't that more inland though? Like I didn't even know there were a lot of beaches.
It's on the east side.
Okay.
It's on the east side of Toronto. So now
I
but
should
the
know
thing is,
how maps work.
when
a little
you
more.
go there, half the time it's closed because of pollution.
Really.
And the other half it's open. So I'm thinking, if this is always teetering on the threshold of being unusable, why would I go to this beach?
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes no sense to me. Just because in June they're like too polluted to eat, like you are unsafe to go there, and then in
Yeah.
August they're like you're good to go. I'm
Yeah.
like, no.
It's like if it happens that frequently, it might happen while you're there. Right?
Exactly. I'm just
You'll
not
be the
buying it.
last one there.
It'll
before
be
it
like,
happens.
oh, it's on the threshold of being unsafe, but it's just barely tolerable.
Yeah.
And I'm just not interested, So,
Right.
all right, now Jamie, as usual, if you want to be consistent,
So it's been exactly an hour.
it's been an hour,
Wow.
ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. I would say that time there was a lot less dead air. We were kind of,
Yeah, not bad, eh?
real
Real neighbors.
Not to toot our own horns over here. No.
Episode 2.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hope everyone liked. Enjoy. Share with people if you think they too
And
would,
I'm
would enjoy it.
shocked that you got here.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. But
Have a
thank you.
great-
But thank you.
Have a great night,
All
whether
right.
it's Wednesday or any other day.
Yeah. True. Hopefully Wednesday. All right. Take care, everyone.